Yo guys, what's going on? Acez is here today with another video. In today's video, no, we're not talking about the brand new patch that just released. No, we are not talking about PvE and not getting prestiging. Maybe we will in the future. That's for another video. But what we are talking about here today is a wipe coming to PvE. Now, before you get all scared, if you don't know kind of what's going on, if you haven't watched any other creators or you missed the Tarkov TV, basically, this is going to be an optional wipe, but you aren't going to be getting all the content when Tarkov fully releases. Do me a huge favor, make sure you drop it a like today, and of course, consider subscribing to the channel. I know it's been a minute, but we do have a lot of stuff to catch up on here, so expect a few videos here this week. Let's dive right in. So on the latest Tarkov TV, it was confirmed that Tarkov is releasing into 1.0 at the end of 2025. So obviously you can probably expect that to happen in December, right around that Christmas time. But of course it is possible maybe it happens in November to give them a little bit of time to prepare for the influx of players during that Christmas time. But another thing that was stated in the Tarkov TV podcast was that if you want to experience all of Tarkov 1.0 in PvE, you are going to need to wipe your account. Now, it is optional. You don't have to wipe your PvE character, but you will not get any access to any endgame content in Escape from Tarkov during full release. And we've actually kind of seen this already, just in a very small kind of form, and it's probably the best way for me to give you a current example of what this might look like when we do finally get Tarkov 1.0. So, when the Unheard Edition came out and the Cultist Circle released, any PvE player that already had their PvE account going, it was like a month or two into PvE when the Cultist Circle was added. If you already had a PvE PMC, a character that you are playing on when the Cultist Circle was added, then you had to get all of the required hideout components to build the Cultist Circle. Now, it was originally stated that any account with Unheard would get the Cultist Circle for free. But since you already had a character when that update went through, you had to build the Cultist Circle. You actually didn't get it for free. But any player at that exact point when that specific patch, whatever it was, came out, if you wiped your account, if you reset your PvE account, you would automatically have the Cultist Circle. So it's kind of the same concept with Tarkov 1.0 content, except you can't just get a couple hideout components to get the content. You simply don't get it. So the best way to imagine the situation is right now, if you never reset your PvE account when the Cultist Circle was added in the hideout, just think that the Cultist Circle isn't there. Just imagine that you never got the Cultist Circle. You never had to get the components. You never built it. Just imagine it's not on your account right now. Now, imagine that for the entirety of all Tarkov endgame content. Yeah, it's kind of a big deal. So a lot of players are going to end up wiping their account that they were told they would never have to wipe. Now, I've been saying this for a few months now that most likely when Tarkov does release into 1.0, we're probably going to have to wipe our PvE account. I just felt it, it just, telling us that our PvE account will never wipe just seemed a little too good to be true. I have to be honest with you, there had to be one somewhere, in my opinion, and obviously release felt like it was going to be the one from the very start. So, I want to say before we dive a little bit deeper into this and how players are going to be, outraged and, crying that they're losing everything, that, they spent a year, 2 years curating on their PMC. Listen, I get it, but there is one small silver lining that might actually really help you with your progression on your PvE account during the 1.0 release. That's assuming that BSG get ref into PvE and they get the arena and the PvE characters synced to where if you play arena, you can level up all of your skills on your PvE PMC and you can send stuff to your PvE account. They are pushing arena pretty hard. They already got it on the Epic Games Store. It is planned for Arena to go on Steam after release of 1.0. So Arena is here to stay, and they're not giving up on it. It did definitely have a rough start, a very rocky launch, but it seems like they are still sticking with Arena, and it seems like people are kind of enjoying it still. I'm not going to lie. If they can get Arena completely sorted out with PvE, I think wiping your PMC for 1.0's release will not be nearly as bad. You know, if you need to get that quick head start, you can hop into Arena and really just kind of power level a little bit, and then you can hop right into your PvE account, and it just won't feel as bad. And obviously, hopefully, any achievements that you've already unlocked will be retained through 1.0. I don't know if they will be. I don't know if Nikita talked about that or not. But hopefully, any of like the event achievements, like with the recent Shadow of Tagilla event, just as like just purely an example. But all your rewards from that, I would really hope during the 1.0 release, as everything kind of gets transferred over, that even resetting your account to go into a 1.0 character, that all of those achievements are retained. So at least when you wipe your account, you're going to have some of those really cool things from all the, you know, events that you played, stuff like that, right? So let's hop into like the final part of this video. We already went over, you know, the details behind it and how I think Arena, if properly integrated to PvE, can help. Let's talk about, you know, the real issue here, and that is the casual player base who, you know, have spent so much of their time already on Escape from Tarkov. And you have to remember, a casual player's time is way more important than, you know, a streamer's time when it comes to the amount of hours that are being put into Escape from Tarkov. Streamers, YouTubers, you know, they have the opportunity to put in 8 to 12 hours into Escape from Tarkov. There are some casual players who might put in 8 hours a month into Escape from Tarkov, and PvE has been that place for them to go. Now, I will say, I do not think there's ever going to be another wipe after 1.0 releases, but at the same time, it's been like a year. Players have put a ton of time into their PvE accounts. You know, there's probably still a ton of players who aren't even close to Kappa yet. And, you know, by the time that 1.0 does come around, maybe they get Kappa for the first time. And, you know, if they wipe their entire account, they're going to have to spend another 2 years to get Kappa again. And if they love, you know, the grind and the progression and all that, that's fine. But there's going to be a huge percentage of players who just feel lied to and betrayed. And, you know, that's why the wiping is optional. But at the same time, I don't agree with the entire situation of somehow you have to wipe your account to get the endgame content. I don't fully understand it. And, you know, another thing, it's just another thing on top of, I don't understand the pushback to allowing players to prestige in PvE. We're going to have a separate video on that. I've already recorded one, but I think I'm going to re-record it simply because I'm releasing this video first, and it just wouldn't really make sense in the context because I thought I was going to release this video second. But, you know, I have to be honest with you. I don't fully understand why the content can't just be added to legacy accounts, if you want to call them that, but I get it. At the same time, it's a big transition point for the game. So there's not really much more I can say about it. You know, there's going to be a ton of PvE players that are absolutely pissed about this. It just, I don't really know what to say, to be honest with you. I kind of expected this, but it is a huge blow to the entire casual player base. You know, even me, who has been, you know, kind of spotty with playing Escape from Tarkov, like, it's not going to affect me one bit. As soon as that happens and I have to wipe my account, I'm sure I'll be playing Tarkov 10 hours a day and taking a ton of time off work. Not everybody is in a blessed position in life. Some people are, you know, living paycheck to paycheck. They got bills to pay and they got to work their ass off. And sometimes Tarkov for an hour is the only peace they get at night. So to take that away from them by forcing them to wipe or just never have certain things that other players have, I don't know, man. It just kind of feels weird to me. It feels, I don't know. I'm not going to sit here and bitch, of course, but you guys definitely know what I'm saying. Let me know your feedback in the comments, guys. You know, let me know how you're feeling about this. It definitely kind of stinks, but it kind of just is what it is. I'm going to be wiping my account. It's kind of killed my motivation to play any Escape from Tarkov on my main account from here on out. It's like I'll just play the hardcore account whenever I'm, you know, bored or trying to play some Tarkov. It just feels like, what's the point? You know what I mean? It's like, if I'm going to have to wipe the account, I'm not going to progress on it. If there's any events where I can earn achievements or something, maybe. But, you know, I don't know. It's just a weird vibe right now. Let me know how you guys are feeling down in the comments. But we will be going over the no prestiging being added to PvE per Nikita. And then we are going to talk about some of the new stuff in the most recent patch that just came out yesterday or today. I'm not sure which one. We got the rocket launcher, which is super cool. So yeah, a few videos coming your way. Keep your eyes out. I know it's been like 3 weeks since we've uploaded, but I've been, you know, just doing my thing. So I appreciate you guys a ton. I'll talk to you in the next video. I'm out.